To Kashla Maona, we come to you today and ask that you continue to watch over us, to bless us, to look after all those who need prayers, all the people who are mourning, people who are in war zones, all the people who are struggling with addictions, with domestic violence, with homelessness, all the things that affect our families, affect our community, and affect each and every one of all of our loved ones. Pray for our children, all those who are unborn, and pray for our elders and all those who have left us to move on to the Spirit world. Pray for them.
I want to say thank you very much for that prayer. And at this time, we do have a Winnebago tribal flag, tribe of the Winnebago tribe of Nebraska, that's going to lead us around. I don't know who's going to hold that flag and lead us around. I believe it's one time around. One time around the arena. So at this time, we're going to start our unity walk.
Always seems to be there right by my side. And when I want some love, she's right there with.
And I believe as we begin our unity walk, we do have some individuals that are going to be saying a few words. And I'm going to go ahead and leave that microphone open for them at this time. I've been informed by Garen, we're going to go ahead and go counterclockwise. So I'm going to hand this microphone over here to whoever our dignitaries that are going to be talking while they're walking.
Good morning. I believe it's still morning. Garen Coons, Communications Officer. Thank you guys for joining us here today. Just wanted to kind of have a thought and feeling here. The council was very, very adamant that we try to spread the word of making sure that we get out the vote. And I know that some of our council members are here. But at this time, before, it shouldn't take too long here, but we do have some food. We do have some T-shirts, and we do have some polls that are going to open tomorrow at the Blackhawk Center. And then also we have a lot of history on why this vote particularly is very important. And we'll have some of the council members address that. I know that Dusty's here, Vice Chairman Smith is here, and we have some other folks that will be speaking here momentarily as well. So I believe we're just going to follow that flag, and if you guys want to line up behind that flag and then head out, we can go from there. So again, thank you guys for joining us. We appreciate everybody. Let people know that the Native voice, the Native vote is very important, and by you folks being here, it's very historical that this year our presidential election, it might come down to us. And so with that, again, you guys can go ahead and head out, and we'll go from there. So one of the themes of today was to remember and to cast our vote in honor of our veterans. Our veterans are very important to us, as you know, here at Veterans Memorial Park. And so with that, again, folks, appreciate you guys being here. And maybe council members, while they're kind of walking around here, you guys can maybe address the good folks and let them know, that we'll be good to go. So then after that, we do have some food available, and appreciate Sweet Things, one of our local eateries that provided today's food, sponsored by a lot of different entities, Big Fire Law Firm, the Winnebago Tribe's Human Services Department, Communications Department, Tribal Council. I know that there was a lot of different entities. Appreciate the HCI. I know that they have some apprentices here that are helping us, and also Kevin.
They want to start, the food's done, and they want to start on the drink side when they go start with the drink side.
So as we walk around here, as you know, just some of the history, in 1924 was the first time that Native Nations tribal members were eligible to vote, and that was 100 years ago. But through that process, through that kind of learning from, the late Dr. Frank Lemire, a lot of different other people's activists, they still put barriers in front of us, and those barriers still exist today. But some of our leaders, our ancestors, those that, kind of got the education, those that are in the political system, there's very important that, we get out the native vote. And we'll have some of our elected leaders kind of explain that process, and then also explain to you good folks what's going to take place tomorrow, how we kind of want it to go. Just kind of a FYI for those folks that are joining us here today, we have plenty of t-shirts. Again, thank you to the Tribal Council for sponsoring that. And, we want to make sure that that shirt right there was designed by one of the Winnebago tribal members. That's Christina Parker. She served as the head lady dancer this past year and designed that with the thought and feeling of, the colors and everything. We're kind of on a time crunch, but it kind of has that ribbon work of our identity and who we are and the culture that we have. Here in front, we do have some of the Democratic information. Appreciate Cynthia Lemire for bringing that information if you guys want to find out more information. But the most important thing is that we share, because there's a lot of people out there that don't think their vote is important. There's a lot of people out there that think that it don't matter. There's a lot of people out there that believe that we're not going to show up to the polls. There's a lot of people out there that are putting barriers in front of us so that we don't go to the polls. But here in Winnebago lands, we want to make sure that we let them know that our native voice is very strong. Okay. So to my understanding here, while you guys make your lap, I was waiting for you guys to start singing that God Bless America song or something, but it's all right. No. But the food is ready. The food is ready, so if you guys want to continue on, should be nice and warmed up here, and we appreciate, again, one of our local eateries, Sweet Things, for helping us on out. And they want you to start, once you start that food, they want you to start with the drinks and then kind of make your way that way. And then in the meantime, we'll have one of our tribal council members, Mr. Dusty Armel, also a veteran, served in the United States Army as well as the United States Marine Corps. And to let us good folks near here at Veterans Memorial Park why this year's vote is so important. So, Eric.
Like I say, good morning. Thank you to everyone for coming out here, partaking in this walk. As has been said, that our votes matter. And so to get out, walk, spread the word, family, friends, and just vote tomorrow. Hopefully we get the outcome that we're looking for. Better tomorrow than today. So with that, everybody have fun, I guess. Thank you.
All right, let's give him a big round of applause. Thank you. One of our veterans. Today's theme is to make sure you get out and vote in honor of our veterans. So think about your family. Think about those that have been around for a while, those that are out there with our freedoms, fighting for our freedom. And we wouldn't be here without our veterans. So very good words, and thank you, Dusty, for the opening statement here. Vice Chairman Smith, you want to come on up here and share a few words? Appreciate you, and everything. I know that you guys were in the middle of a tribal council meeting and everything. But turn the microphone on over here to Vice Chairman Isaac Smith.
I just want to say thank you to all of you that came out and participated here today. And I want to say thank you to Mona for a beautiful day here on Creation. And then it's real important that we get all of our natives out there to vote in this process here. And one of the things is that a lot of times we don't get visitors here on our lands here very often until the tail end of the election. And then all these different ones, they stop by and they try to gather what the tribe is standing behind, what their needs are, what their wants are. And so it's always kind of interesting to see everybody come through the woodwork and at the last minute come and visit the tribe. We were the first people that were here. We're going to continue to still be here no matter what goes on, no matter who's the president. But it's very important to get out and vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chairman Smith. And again, we appreciate everybody. I know that we had a good turnout for tribal elections, and in the past here we kind of did some research, and we had traditionally a low voter turnout, but this year we want to do and make sure that we have a high voter turnout. So if you can help us spread the word. Also, one of our lady relatives from the Angel Decor Museum, we appreciate, she does have some historical information that we want to share with you good folks, and we'll turn it on over to Sunshine Thomas Bear. And if you can kind of give us some background, we really appreciate that. So Sunshine.
Hi, P. Is it still morning? But anyways, so also the importance for all of us to recognize and vote tomorrow is, obviously we were removed here, and here before Nebraska was actually a state. In the United States, we were, as tribes throughout the United States, we were recognized as citizens in 1924, even though we were here long before the U.S. government. And Nebraska, in particular, we weren't allowed to vote until 1964, and that took U.S. Senate legislation to be passed for Nebraska to allow us to vote. So I just want everyone to, understand the fight that it took to be able to vote as tribal citizens here in our own land. So I hope to see everybody tomorrow at the polls, and thank you.
Thank you, Sunshine. Again, folks, I know that there's people, we are streaming on Big Voice 100.9 FM that has a potential reach of 130,000. So if you're listening online or maybe on the radio station, tomorrow is elections. The polls will be down at the Black Hawk Community Center at the gymnasium. If you do need a ride to the polls, the Winnebago Transportation Department will be providing that for any of our elders or maybe some of those that cannot get to the polls if they don't have a ride or anything like that. So make sure you check the tribe's Facebook page. We'll put it on the website. That is winnebagotribe.com. And tomorrow night, we'll kind of take a look and make sure we watch the news media. Appreciate KCAU for being down here. Good friend of ours, Tyler's in the house, and those that did interviews. Make sure that we appreciate that and say thank you to them. There's food over there. There's plenty of food. So if you have somebody on your social media, I know that all through the day and all through yesterday, all kind of texts coming in from the Democrats, Republicans, and those that are just trying to get some information out. We'd appreciate that as well. So Kevin here, being one of our veterans, wants to say a few good words, and we'll turn it on over here to one of our communications department, Kevin Ebert. All right, Kevin.
Thank you, Mr. Coons. I would like to bring in Lavelle. He's from a nonpartisan, and he's down here handing out information for voting. And I'd like to give him a chance to say what he has to say.
Thanks for having me, Lavelle Wells. I'm here from the city of Omaha, part of a nonpartisan initiative to pass out information about the candidates. place. Now, not to tell people who to vote for, but just some information and exercise your right to vote, like she said. I realized 1964 is the first time they let us vote. Wow. So it's important to get your vote out and exercise it because it's all right. So I'm here with a lot of flyers to pass out, just trying to spread the word, folks. But yeah, here I am. Thanks.
Thank you, Lavelle. I sure appreciate it. Turn it on back to you, Mr. Coons.
We're going to turn it on over here to Cynthia Lemire. I know that she's been helping kind of coordinate the Get Out the Vote efforts. There's a lot of good things that are happening. And again, we kind of sent the invitation to the people of both parties, all parties, to come on up to the radio station and discuss some of the things. But she's also been very instrumental in just making sure that we get out the native vote. And we'll have her give her an introduction and turn it on over here to Cynthia Lemire.
By now, huh? I just wanted to mention that first and foremost, we got to exercise our right to vote. And of course, I'm highly involved in the Nebraska Democratic Party. And as y'all know, my husband is involved on the national level. My husband and I got active in 1998. Aside from just making sure we're always voting. So today, I'm going to provide some material also on the Democratic side. And that is because one of the primary things for Thurston County is the majority of the district voters are Democrat. And so it's really information will be there for that. And Thurston County is one of the other Democratic strongholds in the state. It's important for Native people to use that voice. That is a privilege. And it has been mentioned recognized as a U.S. citizen. But you should realize that the civil rights votes in the 60s before Native people could actually exercise that right to do that. And so the materials in here are the Harris laws There's also a sample ballot in here that helps people to understand when they go to polls what they're looking at for your federal seats, what the ballot's going to look like. And then there's also a copy of the sample ballot for the measures for the state of Nebraska. So that information is here. There's a Harris Walls sticker, a couple buttons left. And then there's also the Nebraska Democrats candidate walkthrough that they have, which will be on the ballot. But of course, when you see the ballot, it's all candidates. But there is a flyer on the candidates that the Nebraska Democratic Party is supporting. So all that information's here, and then everybody will be working tomorrow also. There's a sign-up sheet also if anybody's interested in participating in texting throughout tomorrow, just kind of reminding people, or like right now what we say, at least 5 of your relatives, make sure if they need a ride or whatever, spread the word and help them get out to the polls, check on those ones who may be homebound, elderly couple or something that needs transported or took there. Just checking on all the relatives and make sure to get to the polls. It comes down to the last election. Thurston County was lost on the Democratic side by 58 votes. And that was a poor turnout for Thurston County. So the legislatures and representatives that you have now from 2020 was lost by 58 votes. And Thurston County Democrats historically have always turned out like a 57 in the 50s percent range to turn out to vote, and they've been Democratic sets as standards, whatever that head decides to do, that's how their departments function. And then those departments are what provide funding and allocation and those type of things. So on the reverse side of that, then we also know when another party comes in and doesn't acknowledge or respect us as tribal nations, we're the first to be cut, funding to go away, and to share other places. So it does affect us. It truly does affect us. And so with that, just be prepared to vote tomorrow. Your tribal ID is valid to vote. I just saw where the Winnebago card is offering free. So even if your ID is kind of beat up, they'll get a new one. It's good time. Give me a picture, whatever. But the tribal ID is valid. And so get out to vote. Help those relatives get out. And hopefully we'll have a substantial turnout tomorrow.
All right. Thank you, Cynthia, for those words. Yes, give her a round of applause. Good job. She does bring up some great, important points that a lot of times when they come up with budget allocations or anything like that, if we don't get out the vote and they assume that we don't care, so it's very, very important that we get out the vote. I know we got some other tribal council members here. I think I seen Treasurer Steeler, as well as Secretary Little George, and other council members that wanted to support this event. We want to give you an opportunity if you want to come on over here and kind of share your thoughts again for the live stream and for those that are here with us. We appreciate 100.9 FM, Bethany Red Horner and the crew for setting that up. There's a lot of different things that are going to be taking place here, and especially tomorrow. As you know, elections are going to be happening. Our polling location for the Winnebago community is going to be at the Black Hawk Community Center Gymnasium, and the polls open at 7 a.m. So if you need to get to work and cast your vote before the 8 o'clock hour, if you report in by that time, you're more than welcome to do that. And they're going to close at 8 p.m. in the evening. So even after work, you have an opportunity to go down there and cast your vote. So I think there's over, what is it, Cynthia, 1,100 eligible voters here on the reservation in Winnebago community. We want to see that turnout to be 1,101. Hey, no, I'm just playing. Yeah, 30% increase is the goal, for sure, for sure. So, again, folks, we appreciate you guys being here. The food chow line is open. If you guys want to grab something to eat, make sure you take a couple T-shirts, as we ordered 500. And I know that while supplies last. So if you want to share this with your co-workers or anybody in the community, Winnebago community, come on over and grab a shirt and grab something to eat and grab some information. We have Mr. Wells, and then we also have Mrs. Lemire here that has some great information about some parties and what they stand for and the initiatives that are on the ballot. So again, folks, thank you guys for being here. And as you know, get out the native vote is very, very important, folks. So we'll turn it on over to Silas. We want to say thank you to the Winnebago Health educators for bringing out their sound system and spending a couple hours with us here this afternoon. We say thank you to Silas Cleveland. I know that he's been an MC for the Powwow celebration, and we also have one of our elders, Mr. John Blackhawk. I know that had some connections and a lot of wise wisdom. So we'll turn the microphone on over here to John.
Thank you, Garen. I'm glad our council members are here. And, when I came out here, I try my best to vote on a regular basis. Kind of one of the things we're taught. But as I came out here and thinking about the activity, there's some things that came to mind. That's why I'm glad our council members are here. I remember the time when every congressional candidate came to Winnebago for support. Ben Nelson, Bob Kerry, way back when. And now I don't see it as happening as much. And that's why I'm glad our council members are here. Because I think we need to establish an office to actually do this. The other part of one of the things I've been involved with is our young people. First of all, start out, just telling you history and that. In terms of history, I remember in 1996 at our annual celebration here, as the chairman, I was able to announce that hospital that we fought for 15 years for was approved. The background story to that is it was approved because after 15 years of fighting it, Senator Bob Kerrey and from Nebraska and our other senator, they took Secretary Shalala to their offices and they wouldn't take no for an answer. And out of that meeting, our hospital was approved, even though Indian Health Service was fighting against it. And that's our involvement, because they knew the Ho-Chunks were involved politically. They knew those kind of things. And it's not only, it is primarily on the Democratic side, but on the Republican side as well. You know, I remember that Senator Doug B. Ryder, or Congressman Doug B. Ryder, was a big supporter of our hospital. And he helped in that regard on the House side. On the appropriation side, he chaired the banking committee, but he had a good friend on appropriations, on interior appropriations. You see, you have to figure out, you know, who, where, when, and what. And through that, we got the funding for it, the first phase of it. So it is important. Those kind of things can happen for us if we're involved. That's why I'm encouraging the council to look at opening an office, actually having an office. And I know Cynthia would be more than willing to help. You know, because it was Frank that led the charge on that as well. It was Frank's relationship. He called our good Senator Kerrey his friend. They weren't colleagues. They didn't, you know, that was his friend. And I know that you know, we did a lot of hard work on that. So I want to encourage you to have our young people out there. Those are tremendous numbers, not only politically and nationally, but on our tribal side too. Helping our young people to get registered, to say, you know, you have a right to determine who serves. And way back when, I was real fortunate as a young person to become elected. But I'd like to see more and more of our young people take that on as a responsibility. So that's what I want to share. I want to encourage us all to know and to understand those things, to appreciate them, and then again, to replicate them. We can do that. We should have every governor come to Winnebago. That should be a goal, as well as Cynthia mentioned, the 30%. And I really appreciate, you know, all the help that Cynthia does, mostly on her own dime. You know, she just has a passion for that. We have to appreciate that and try and replicate it as best we can. So thanks, Gary, and thank you all for bringing us together here. Thank you.
It's always good to hear some of our, you know, the struggles that we have still exist today and some of the victories that we accomplished there. So thank you for those words, John. Thank you for those words, Cynthia, Mr. Smith, those that came out. I know that and shared kind of maybe some of the history of voting for our people and the trials and you know, some of the barriers that we have to go through and face as Native nations. Just the other week there, President Biden finally issued a formal apology for the boarding school era. And we got to sit and watch that. It took place down in Arizona, and it was very heartfelt, but at the same time, long overdue. And it's a start. I know that our chairwoman, Victoria Kitchian, she mentioned that, you know, now that you issued the apology, you got to put action behind that. So we're looking to our government, the nation to nation. I myself had the opportunity to see our council make those meetings out there. They met with Senator Deb Fisher this past January, and that dialogue that they had, and she paid attention, and she made mention that we wanted our land back, and the land back over in Iowa, 1,600 acres, finally returned after a 45-year plus fight, and still working on getting that land. And I know that this council is very adamant to making sure our government-to-government relationship with the United States is very healthy, strong, and making sure that they uphold those treaties. And even on that trip, we got to go out there and witness and view the treaties between the United States government and the Winnebago tribe. And it's very kind of, how do you say it, very powerful to witness that and to see that piece of paper that our ancestors, they fought for, and a lot of wanted to have this generation and the future generations to have a good livelihood and amongst our people. So just kind of want to make mention of those things. And again, for those folks that are just coming through, make sure you grab a shirt, make sure you grab something to eat, and make sure we go to the polls tomorrow. Elections open tomorrow, 7 a.m. is going to be the polling site. Is going to be at the Blackhawk Community Center. If you need a ride to the polls, we do have some information on Facebook, and maybe share that with our elders. I think after we go offline here, Bethany, we're going to stop down at the Senior Center and give you out some shirts, give them some food, and then also let them know that if they need a ride, we'll kind of go from there. So with that, again, thank you, folks, and tomorrow we're still here, so let's get out the native vote. Ahoo!
As Garen was talking about, there is a ride to the polls on Election Day, November 5th, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. A phone number, call Dave Mincer, 712-259-1995. So go ahead and make those calls if you need a ride to the polls tomorrow from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Make sure you exercise your right to vote right here. There's a lot of food over there. Get on over there, grab yourself a bite to eat, grab yourself a t-shirt. As we had a unity walk here before we began everything, we had a prayer, all those good items happening right here, right at Veterans Memorial Park. I want to say a big thank you to all of those that are involved. I want to say thank you to our prayer that was said in the school for saying that. Winnebago Tribal Council, Human Resource Department, Big Fire Law, HCI. I want to say a big thank you for them for providing that meal, the prayer, and everything that's happening here today. Our communications department, all of those that are involved. I want to say a big welcome to Moni. Hey, good to see you, Moni. But each and every one of you that came out here today, man, what a good event. A powerful event that we need to exercise our rights. As was mentioned many times here already, we did not always have representation. We didn't always have the right to